If I had to pick the dumbest streamer of all time, it would easily go to Hasan Piker. This guy is basically what happens when mommy doesn't stop smoking crack. So he's getting torched on Twitter by Mudahar, Some Ordinary Gamers, and Willie Mac Show, and a bunch of other creators and just general people on Twitter for being completely out of touch. Basically, he claims that streaming is a harder job than a 9-to-5. And of course he'd say that once you know his background, considering his dad is almost a billionaire, his uncle is a multi-millionaire who gave him his entire career, and he hasn't worked a real day in his life. Millionaire streamer Hasan Piker claims that a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you in the same way that streaming absolutely will.
Yes, a real job can be gruesome, a real job can make you very tired, but a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you. You know what I mean? In the same way that 9 hours of streaming absolutely will.
Yeah, streaming is such a hard job, guys. In fact, sitting on my ass, looking at my screen, which is something that I would do, voluntarily without being actually paid for a job, is probably the hardest thing ever. It would never compare to something so easy, such as maybe a nursing job, working in an oil rig, or anything like that. All right, my message to Hasan fans, we got a job application form. They are all unemployed, I can guarantee you that. Being poor when you're young and starting out has its advantages, makes you humble and grateful. This kid has no clue. Twitch streamers, after working 8 hours of a real job and not a single parasocial loser has given them free money. Okay, so basically this has all evolved into a whole back and forth drama on Twitter. We got this tweet, this is the worst streamer of all time. In fact, a tweet like this goes viral like every other week, which is hilarious to me, and I will like it every single time. So let's start the Mudahar arc. Here we got a streamer named Denims, and she is basically Hasan's left nut over here. As someone who has worked 12-hour shifts with a 4-hour commute while going to uni full-time, streaming is easily the hardest job I've ever had. The post-stream social exhaustion is so real. I don't know how anyone could do it every day. Wow. This is this why you treat Hasan Piker like your god? They're both on the same, left-leaning side, so they just suck each other off, and, it doesn't even matter what they say as long as they're on the same side, Streaming is by far one of the easiest, most privileged jobs one can have. If you're successful, the rewards far outweigh any of the negatives. Compare it to any service job, cybersecurity or nursing, and you'll find something actually exhausting. Of course, Mudahar got the base take over there. The grind to popularity without a doubt is hard, but in no way is it comparable to programming gig or a gig in which you have to stand for hours on end. Honestly, the grind to popularity is hard, but Hasan didn't even have to do that. He had his entire life gifted to him. His dad's a billionaire, dude. What are you talking about? Yes, being on your feet for 8 hours while getting assaulted by dementia patients while you're understaffed is far easier than playing video games online. So it turns out the Mudahar arc actually goes a couple tweets along. He's responding to Hasan's right nut over here because he has a lot of Twitter defenders. Here is the context for this dumbass clip chimp of Hasan. I get that expecting the neets on this dumbass site to understand the nuance of how different jobs will drain you in different ways is insane, but oh well. This guy's name is Comrade, so, So let's look at the full context here. Let's truly understand what Hasan was actually saying. I'm sure this will make it better.
No. Social battery-wise, unless you're in fucking retail, it's very different. You're out of touch. I'm gonna die, dude. There's motherfuckers who are accountants in here, and they're misunderstanding what I'm saying. A real job does not expend your social battery in the same fucking way as someone who did a sales job, a real job. Okay?
It absolutely does. This guy saying that a real job is not as soul crushing or socially draining as streaming is absolutely crazy. A real job is 10 times worse because it will you don't even want to do the thing and you're being forced to do it and you have no choice. Like streaming, he's like, well, streaming 8-9 hours a day is so hard. You don't have to do it. You're a multi-millionaire. You can just take a break any day. You can disappear for the rest of your life. Nobody's gonna. That's the thing with a real job. You actually have to show up, to feed your family. You absolute dipshit.
I'm telling you, as someone who did both.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he legitimately
9 hours of constant performance and people pleasing.
Can can we put the clip? Okay, I'm probably editing this myself, so I'm not gonna put the clip. But just put the clip of Hasan walking away from his computer while a video is playing, constantly performing. By the way, going to the fucking toilet, going to get food all the time, and refusing to pause the video because he will lose viewers. Right? He's stealing other people's content by reacting to streamers all day, every day, reacting to YouTube videos. Like, this guy is literally a cancer on social media. He needs to go. And pretty much this isn't behind the scenes stuff, but every single I kid you not, every single YouTuber I have ever talked to in my entire life hates this guy with an absolute passion. Okay, and these are like even like left-leaning people that, you know, really support his arguments and everything like that. They just hate his guts because he's a horrible person.
Paps you out from social scenarios. After 9 hours of that, I could probably do fucking physical labor. It would not bother me, but I can't fucking do more social shit. That's my point. Like, there are obviously real jobs out there that are good comparisons. Service sector, people-pleasing jobs would be very similar. Those are like, I think...
Well, the funniest part about all of this is that his chat is disagreeing with him. And if you know, Hasan's chat is probably the most brain-dead thing. Like, if we did an IQ test for his chat, I legitimately think we might reach the negatives. Like, I'm not even joking here.
Customer service type shit.
They're an anomaly of the human race.
If you're an accountant, or if you're... Even like in sales, my interactions with clients was limited, way more limited than like constantly having to do this for 9 hours with like a back and forth interaction for 9 hours. That's what like sucks your social battery, and you just tap out after it.
It must be really hard constantly spreading misinformation on the internet, like with zero research.
You give presentations for your job, right? Imagine giving a presentation for 9 hours straight. It's like, after a while, you would be like, I don't want to talk ever again.
But you're not giving a presentation. Your shit is not well researched. You log on and scroll through random shit. You don't plan anything out. You absolute dipshit. You play somebody else's video and then go to the bathroom and take a shit. That's not a presentation. There's no pressure. In a presentation, people are actually judging you, and you're like, you know, in some cases, your job might be at risk. You might not earn a salary next month if they don't like your presentation. For you, nobody gives a shit. You're just gonna stir up controversy. There's like 5 million people who hate you, but it doesn't affect you at all because you're on the internet and you have your zombie fucking fan base over here, you know? Hasan's right nut over here. Hasan's out of touch. You spend 16 hours a day farming likes on Twitter. You couldn't be further from in touch. Get a job. I think one person, like maybe Asmongold's editor or something, but he looked at, like, he calculated the amount of tweets that a Hasan fan makes, and it was about 70 tweets a day for like 7 years. Averaging 70 tweets a day or something. I'm pretty sure we could find something similar for this guy. Now, the absolute funniest part is watching a Hasan fan's reasoning here. Watch this defense of him. F it, I'm doing bad faith arguments. Give a nurse or a cybersecurity expert a camera and tell them to talk about politics in front of 20K for 9 hours a day, every day for a year, and see how long they can go before they quit from the harassment or lose viewership because they suck. What a ridiculous argument. I'll show you Willie Mac's response here. Willie Mac Show over here responds, give Hasan a nursing job and have him change bedpans for a living. What is the logic here? The most brain dead people are Hasan viewers. The hard part of content creation is getting the skill set to grow and keep an audience. After that, it's easy for 99% of creators. Nearly every other person working a day job has a harder day to day because no matter how good you get at being a cashier, it still sucks ass. And I can attest to this, dude. After you know, being online and making content for 5 to 6 years, it is the best, literally the God-given best job in the entire world, bar none. It is the most wonderful thing. You enjoy most of your time. You make a fucking stupid amount of money, unfathomable, undreamable. It is the dream life by any mention. And comparing it to being like a cashier or a retail worker is so ridiculous. Hasan needs to be drafted, bro. I'm sorry. Get this guy out of here. Now, Willie Mack has also made tons of well-researched videos on Hasan. Highly recommend, so you'll understand the type of person he actually is and why everybody hates his guts. So Mudahar responds again, seeing the origin of this discourse still has me disagreeing. I don't doubt the social battery draining, but in most jobs, you don't have the luxury of turning off a stream or blocking out people. YouTube isn't my job. 6 days I'm up early from sunrise to sunset. I'm mostly in meetings and overseeing operations for my company. I wish my job could be turned off sometime, or I could skip a meeting with some irrational clients. I don't know, maybe I'm old school, but streaming or YouTube will always appear to be a privileged job compared to the soulless 9 to 5. Now, of course, Mudahar isn't complaining here as well. He's just telling the difference between a real job and actually streaming. So somebody responded to Muda saying this is what out of touch looks like, a business owner who sets the rules of their company, trying to grandstand about how much he's on his grind, but wishes he could take a break. Zero introspection, just doing hate farming. Another thing, being overworked is not a brag. Another, how many nuts does Hasan actually have? It's quite impressive. Building something that outlives you with your own two hands is something I don't expect you to ever understand. I never came from money. My life is a reflection of the hours and stress put in. No, as a business owner, you don't have the luxury of your own times when you're responsible for your and the well-being of others. Call it hate farming. I call it the truth. Do something with your life and the world you've been planted in. Whoa, you don't want to give them ideas. God, don't release these actual demons into the world. Let them stay on Twitter. Let them stay in these online circles. Because if we release these people into real life, well, they probably will never make it. And also, yeah, it'll corrupt the rest of the world. Now, surprisingly, Asmongold, who's another streamer who streams several hours a day, chimed in, and he actually defended Hasan. And look at these likes, 6K likes, 11K dislikes. As someone who's worked in an Amazon warehouse, I guarantee you standing in one place for 10 hours, doing an absurdly boring and repetitive task was far more soul-draining than spending all day playing games and watching videos while talking to people. Asmongold lives in a literal pigsty because he's too lazy to even employ maids. Ordering pizza is probably socially draining for such a person. I saw a couple clips of cockroaches walking on Asmongold, and he just grabs them and takes them out. So, yeah, he's not someone to, I'd say, look up to at all. But he does have occasionally reasonable takes. But I guess when it comes to streaming or something that's personally connected with him, he gets a bit biased. Anyways, in conclusion, Hasan is the worst streamer of all time, and hopefully in a year or two from now, he'll be irrelevant, so I won't actually have to listen to his garbage takes. Anyways, that's it. Click this video. I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.